Hey Jack, Micah Collins here, and in this video I'm going to show you the 3 things that you can do today to help bring in more customers to your business every single month. You know, most likely you're sitting there asking yourself, well Micah, why would you be doing this in the first place and what's in it for me? Well, the answer is that oftentimes in the world of the internet, most local business owners are simply too busy running their own business to learn how the internet can benefit them and their company. And sometimes, Jack, the only hesitation they have to hiring someone is they just don't know who is an expert and who really isn't. So I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of actual things they can do for themselves for free, it results in some of those local business owners at the end just raising their hands and saying, you know what, Micah, I like you, why don't you just do all this for me? So Jack, if by the end of this video you like what you've heard, and you can see I have a whole lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help impact your business, just shoot me a quick message and we can chat. Or if you'd rather simply take these 3 things and do them for yourself, I'm totally cool with that. Whatever's best for your business. Alright, so now let me show you the 3 things that will set your company above your competition and not waste any more of your time or mine. So man, the first thing I want to go over with you today is your content. And now, most business owners know that they need content, but aren't aware that they need certain keywords naturally put into their content. You might be wondering what exactly that means. That's like whenever somebody types in, you got to think in the heads of somebody else, like a customer. They're looking up, say their AC broke, AC repair, Jinx, Oklahoma. That's a specific key phrase that they're looking for. Well, the way Google tells if you're the best fit for that is they scan your website for exact key phrases like that and partial key phrases. So an exact key phrase would be like AC repair, Jinx, Oklahoma. It would be an exact match keyword. A partial is whenever it has just one of those words like Jinx, AC repair, just all throughout the content. And what I'm trying to see for you right here is that certain keywords are not put naturally throughout your content, so Google's not really finding you for anything in particular except for your business name and a couple low volume keywords, as I'll show you in just a second. Alright Jack, so as you can see, I pulled up Mark Hill Heating and Air. They're doing great at this. As you can see, air conditioning repair in Tulsa is right on their top of their website. It's easy for Google to see, and they're searching the whole website for different phrases like this, okay? And if we hop over to this tool I use, it's called Ahrefs. It runs about a couple $100 a month. You can get on ahrefs.com. It allows you to look behind the scenes what they're actually getting found for and how many people they're getting a month. So we can see by this that Mark Hill Heating and Air is getting 317 people on his website every single month. So doing pretty well on that. It's still growing. And if we look over at their keywords that they're currently being found for, we can see HVAC companies Tulsa. It gets searched 150 times a month. They're getting 15 of those people because they're on the 5th position. HVAC repair Broken Arrow. We can see 100 volume, and we can see that they're getting 14 people a month and that they are on the 4th position. That's the positioning on Google. As we can see, they have quite a few of these words, so it just adds up all these numbers to the 317 that they have. If we hop over to you all on Ahrefs and plug you in, we can see that you are not getting any organic traffic on your website, so not converting to any calls there. If we look to your keywords, we can see affordable heating and cooling. I can't even pronounce that. Affordable heat and air, affordable energy solutions, and the volume is all right, but the positioning's really bad. We can see 12th position, which is on like the 3rd page, 34th position. People don't look down that far. They have to type in your exact business name to even find you. So yeah, dude, that's the first thing I would tackle, is just go through your website, super simple, and just put some of those exact phrases that you want to tackle. And to add a little note on that, I would assign this homepage to just one specific area. You can list all your areas in one, like this right here, that's great. But I would specifically tailor this homepage to a specific area. It really helps cut through the noise and helps Google find you for the right things. Alright Jack, as you can see, I pulled up Jinx HVAC, and that's because I found Jinx on your Google business profile is where your primary location is. So I decided I'd go with that keyword here today for the purposes of this video. So if we look at the first section, it is the ad section. Man, there are a lot of ads nowadays. The deal is a lot of these, they can be good at times, but they are very, very expensive, and Google will eat your lunch at the end of the day. I like to think of them as like shorter spurts. If I want a few more leads for the end of the month, then I'll put some money towards Google Ads and get a few extra jobs in that way. But I would not, by no means, have that as my long-term plan. All right, and as we scroll down, you can see that the second place on here is the map pack. And a lot of business owners want to get here, but they don't really know like how to get on here. And this brings me to the second thing I wanted to speak with you today, Jack, and that is what we call citations. All right, so if we look over here, American Home Pros, we can see their name, their address, and their phone numbers listed right here on Google. That is what we call the NAP, okay, or the NAP. And how that works is that is what Google uses to verify that you are a legit business. So now you might be wondering, well, Micah, what the heck is a citation? What the heck is this NAP? And what does it have to do with getting me on this map pack and getting more calls? Well, I'm glad you asked, and I'll show it to you right over here. I can pull up this little graphic I made. We can see over here that says your name, address, and phone number is listed on all these different directories online, okay? So I want you to think of it like this, okay? So Google is searching all these different directories like the BBB, Bing, Yelp, Merchant Circle, Switchboard, Yellowbook, Matchpoint, and the list goes on for hundreds of them. And looks at all of these to decide how authoritative or how much trust to put to a company, right? You know, the more trust and authority you get from Google, the higher you rise in the map pack, okay? So the more of these that your name, address, and phone number are listed consistently throughout, the more Google will promote you in the map pack naturally. And right now, Jack, let's be honest, you do not have a whole lot of directories, so Google is not pushing you up in that map pack. Whereas somebody like American Home Pros probably has about, I didn't check them specifically, but they probably have about 250, seems to be about the average here in the Tulsa area, about 250 to 300 citations that they already have that is pushing power to them. So now you might be wondering, well, Micah, that's great, but how do I get these for myself? It's actually really simple. All you need to do is get on a tool like Bright Local or Majestic, one of those, not Majestic, forgive me, White Spark or Bright Local. And all you do on those tools is that you plug in your competitor and it shows you a whole list of every single citation that they already have. And you can literally go down through like a list and click on every single one and get your business listed on every single one of those. Put them for yourself what your competitor has. But we don't want to stop there, right? We want to, your competition has 250 citations, let's just say they have 250, you want to get 300 or 350 to dominate them on Google. Because if you just match what they have, the same amount of power, it's not going to push you very high up. You need, because they have time on their side. That is another point I forgot to mention to you. These guys have time on their side. So, because they've been in it longer than you, right? So you want to get more citations and directories than they have so that Google sees you as more dominant even though you're fresher out of the gate. All right, and if we scroll down to the next place I wanted to speak with you about, this is the organic section, and this is the third thing I wanted to speak with you today, and that is what we call backlinks. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is a backlink and why does it matter? It has everything to do with this organic section right here. Now, if we plug in Jinx HVAC, we can see, of course, the top, like I said, was the ad section. Those only get about 20 to 10% of all the clicks, to be honest. You can look it up, 10 to 20, sometimes 30% if it's like a lawyer or something. If we go down here, we can see in the map pack, this can get anywhere from 40 to 60, depending on the industry, but a high percent goes right in this map pack. But something a lot of people don't tell the truth on is right up here, these top two positions, they can get anywhere from 30 to 40% of all the clicks going right there. So this is the place you want to be, and to get there you need authority, and to get this authority you need backlinks. So Jack, I want you to think of it like this. If Site A links to Site B, then Site A is giving Site B some of its link juice or power. It's kind of like a vote of confidence in Google's eyes from Site A to Site B. And the truth is that the more relevant Site A is that's linking to Site B, the better the link, the more valuable that link is. So let me give you an example on that, okay? So, for instance, if you get a local blog or like another HVAC site pointing to your site, like linking to your site, then that's awesome. But if you're an HVAC guy and you get a link from Pizza Hut because you did a job for them, well, it doesn't really matter to Google because, let's be honest, you don't sell pepperoni, so Google doesn't really care about all that. It doesn't lay any relevance on you. All right, and if we hop back over to Ahrefs, we can see exactly the amount of backlinks and what kind of backlinks that you have, what your competitor has. It's really great tool. If we look over here, we can see that you have 50 backlinks pushing power to your site and you have no traffic. This is as much of a backlink issue as it is a content issue, as I stated first. You know, the first thing I would do is take care of the content, because if you don't have your foundation right, none of it's going to work, okay? But after you get the content, you want to start pushing some backlinks, and I'll show you how to get those backlinks in just a sec. But you want to start pushing backlinks to your website to start powering it up. All right, if we plug in markhillheatingandair.com, we can see that they have 120 backlinks, which is 100% beatable for you. You know, you already have almost half of that amount. You just need to go and get the extra 70 backlinks that they have and start pushing them for yourself, and you will definitely start beating them on Google and getting that 317 people on your website every single month. Now you might be wondering, well, Micah, this is all great in theory and everything, but how the heck do I actually get down to business and get these backlinks and start getting the calls for myself? Well, the truth is, it's a lot simpler than you might think. It's not as crazy techy as you might imagine it is. If we hop over to backlinks and just click over here on ahrefs.com, click over to backlinks. This is the way I take care of it. You hop over here, see these, this is every backlink they have, okay? Let me just click on the first one that pulls up right here, expertise.com. This pulls me right to the exact backlink that they have pushing to their website, and it is a directory that is pushing back to their website. If we scroll down, and here we are, down to Mark Hill Heating and Air, and we can see this visit website. If we click on that, it takes us right to their website, and that is pushing power to this website, okay? So how you get this for yourself is you simply, in this top corner, you click Get Listed, fill out your information, and bam, you have the link for yourself. And then you just, after that, you just go through and you do this for every single one of these websites. And just get them for yourself, and you will 100% start beating them online. All right, Jack, so hopefully you see by now that getting you to the top on Google, it's not magic, it's just a method, and I've shown you that method here today. So once again, we went over number one was your content, and you want to get the right keywords filtered naturally throughout your content. I forgot to say, don't just randomly throw out keywords. Make it to where it makes sense inside of your content with the words, you know. Whenever you do heating repair, Jinx, Oklahoma, try to make it like kind of make sense so it doesn't look weird to Google. But you do want to have those exact phrases inside of your content naturally throughout. Number two was citations, and you want to have 200 to 300 of those to fully beat out the competition by a landslide in the Google Map Pack. And number three was your backlinks. You want to have more relevant websites pointing to your website than your competitors, so you'll start outranking them organically on Google. And if you implement these strategies today, you will be number one across Google, hands down. So now I bet you're wondering, well, what now, Micah? Well, the truth is, you can either go with this information I provided you today and do this on your own, and I'm totally cool with that. Man, just whatever's best for your business. However, if you do want the most fast and effective method, just give me a quick call at 918-260-1694. Again, my name is Micah Collins, and that's 918-260-1694. I look forward to hearing from you, Jack, and I hope you have a good one.